Hi, welcome to another episode of Joey's Scarf. This is episode 12 and today is July 3rd, 2017. My name is Linda and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Linda Grace. So we're back from vacation. We went away not too far down the road actually. 40 minutes down the road to another shore town, New Jersey shore town called Ocean City, New Jersey. And we were, all of my family was there, my son and his girlfriend and 2 kids, and my daughter and her husband and 3 kids, and my daughter-in-law and my grandson. We had a really nice time. The weather was absolutely perfect every single day, and we got in a lot of beach time. So we had a good vacation. Kind of glad to be home. It's still washing clothes and trying to get things put away from vacation, because when you go down, when you rent a shore house, you have to bring everything: towels, sheets, all the linens and groceries and all of that stuff. So that part of it is not so nice, especially since we were on the 2nd floor, but it worked out okay, and we had a really nice time. Today I'm recording from my sunroom again, and I might be a little distracted because I'm facing the outside. I'm looking outside, and it's a warm summer day, breezy, and I catch a little creature here and there, a bunny or a squirrel running around, or a bird, and easily get distracted. But it's hot out today, so I'm glad I'm inside in a nice, cool sunroom. Couple of, as they say, administrative stuff. We do have the podcast has a group on Ravelry called Joey's Scarf. Right now we're running a make-along, and it's called Joey's Scarf Cozy Make-Along. And the idea is to make something cozy, a shawl or a tea cozy, which a couple of people have made, some cute tea cozies, some slippers, or something like that. And today, on this hot day, it's kind of hard to think about warm and cozy, but by the time the make-along is over, which is at the end of August, I think we'll all be thinking about the fall and some nice cozy things to wrap ourselves in. The other thing I wanted to mention is I started a group on Ravelry. I had looked, because I'm a new podcaster, there's a ton of questions that I seem to want to ask other podcasters, more experienced ones, or those who are like me and just starting, and the things that we come across, technical issues, content, what we might find interesting, and things like that. And I looked on Ravelry figuring, because there are so many podcasts, there's got to be a group already, but there isn't one. So I started a group. The group is called Newbie Crafty Podcasters, and I'll put that across the screen. Since I am a newbie and don't have that many subscribers, I'm not sure how I can get the word out about the podcast, about the support group for the podcast, for podcasters. So if you are a podcaster, a newbie, or an experienced one, I would love to have you join the group, and we can help each other out. I'm sure there's tons of information that we can pass back and forth. So I'd love for you to join if you are a podcaster. Speaking of subscribers, I have passed the 100 subscriber mark, and I guess I don't pay too much attention to that, but the way I look at it, I think about how many views I have or how many subscribers I have, and I always think of it in terms of a dinner party. And how would it be for me to have 100 and so many people for a dinner party, and how cool that would be to meet all the subscribers. And me being a shy person, how would I be if I were hosting a dinner party for you all? So, but it's very nice that I do have the interest, that you are interested in coming to see me. There's also another reason for me to celebrate. July 1st was my birthday, and I had a really nice, since we were all actually together, we were down the shore at the shore house. We all got together for dinner, and it was a really lovely time. So I am pleased to announce a giveaway for my birthday and for the passing the 100 subscriber mark. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, because right now I want to get into some of my knitting. Okay, so the first finished object I'm going to show you is a shawl, and the name of the pattern is Gabriel's Wings, and it's by Angela Roberge, and I'll put that across the screen for you. This is the shawl, and I'll put a picture in of me wearing it. It really came out nice. I have to admit I didn't follow the pattern exactly, and by that I mean the way she has the pattern written, the switches between stockinette, lace, and garter, they're evenly spaced, and the color switches are evenly spaced, and I didn't do that, mainly because I would be working along and then I would say, oh, I forgot to change color or forgot to change pattern. So I just went with the flow, whatever I was working on, and however many rows I had knit, then that's the way it was going to be. And actually, it came out very nice. The other thing, I added a picot bind off for the edge, which I really like the picot bind off. It makes the shawl lay flat, and it adds a nice interest to the edge of the shawl. The yarn that I chose to use on this, the variegated yarn here, is by the ladies at Toad Hollow NJ, and that's Helen and Mary Beth of the Crafty Toads. They have a podcast also, the Crafty Toads, but they have an Etsy shop, and it's called Toad Hollow NJ. And this is on their Drusilla sock base, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and it's beautiful, beautiful yarn. And this colorway they named Graffiti Garden. It's really pretty, very pretty. The shawl it's very versatile. I like the triangle shawl because you can wear it, as a shawl, as almost like a scarf, or you can wear it as a shawl, wrap yourself around as a shawl. And this was one of my entries into the Knittle the Cozy Make Along, and it's really beautiful. The yarn is beautiful. The pattern is really fun to do, and I had a great time making it, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. So that's my first finished object. Okay, next up, next finished object is a pair of socks. And this was my entry into the Knotty Knitwits Socket Knit Along. This was my June entry. And it's just a plain vanilla sock, afterthought heel. And I did these on size 0, and I did them one at a time, but I did the magic loop on a size 0 47-inch circular needle. I like the way these came out. I think the color is pretty and really came out nice. Okay, this yarn is another yarn by the Crafty Toads. Toad Hollow NJ is their name. And this colorway, again, it's the Drusilla base, and this colorway is called Easter. And again, it's really nice yarn. The socks are so soft. The toes and heels, some leftover yarn that I had. I'm not sure what brand they were. So that's my second finished object. Okay, on to works in progress. First work in progress is I'm doing another pair of socks for Ross, and I've got this far on one sock, and I'm doing these on 9-inch circulars, size 0. I'm following the pattern that I put together for Ross, the recipe that I put together for Ross. He liked the first pair of socks I made him, so I decided to treat him to another pair. That's how far I've gone. And this yarn is it's Miss Babs yarn. Yeah. Let's see if I find the colorway here. Let's see. Okay. This is their Hot Shot base. And which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And this colorway is called Petrified Forest. And the heels and toes are also their brand. It's a Miss Babs. I'm not sure what. So that one is called Hot Shot Toes, and it's the same. Oh, this is Roasted Pumpkin. So haven't spent too much time working on these, but I'll get to it. They're not, it's the only sock I have actually on the needles right now, and then I have to get going and start my July socks, which I have not done. So that is my first work in progress. Okay, the next work in progress, the next thing I'm working on is a cowl. And this pattern is called 10 and Counting, and it is by Kate Archer. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is a fun knit. This one I really, really like to knit. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like this little design here, and it's easy to keep track of. It's simple, but look at how nice it just adds that little bit of interest to the to the cowl. So that's not just a plain stockinette stitch, but I really like it. Okay, this yarn is Savvy Skeins, it's called. And the yarn is San Antonio sock yarn. Colorway is Helter Skelter. And it is 100% superwash merino. This is what it looks like caked up. It's nice yarn. Really, things are falling off my lap. This podcasting isn't as easy as, well, it looks. I don't know. But anyway, I had this stored in my Isaac Mitsura bag. I picked this up at not Target. I picked this up at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, I think, not TJ Maxx. And it's patent, faux patent leather, but it's perfect for a project bag. I think I paid like $10 for it, but it's got a side pocket and the inside, nice pattern inside, and it's got lots of pockets on the inside. And it's a perfect project bag. Has a little carry strap. I'm sure it wasn't designed for that, but it works out great. That's what my 10 and counting shawl work in progress is being stored in. And I hope to finish this by the next time I podcast, because I really like working on it. So that's my second work in progress. On to the next one. So here's another little work in progress that I'm working on. Actually, it is another sock. It's a little baby sock for my 3-year-old grandson. It was so cute when we were on vacation. He was sitting at the table. I was talking to him, and all of a sudden he looks down at his foot and he said, "Grandma, my sock is broken and I can feel my toe." So he had a hole in his sock. So I said, "Do you want Grandma to make you a pair of socks?" And he said, "Yes." So I said, "Okay." And this is what I started for him. It was a couple of trial and errors trying to get the right size. But I didn't. I thought I might finish it by the time vacation was over, but I didn't. I don't know what the yarn is, just something I had laying around. And it's going to be a shorty sock, 'cause that's what he wears. And hopefully the next time I see him, he wanted to know, every time he saw me on vacation, during the vacation, he'd say, "Grandma, are you done building my sock yet?" So not yet, I'm still working on it. So that's another work in progress that I'm doing. And hopefully I'll get it done for him before his feet grow. So this next work in progress I'm really excited about because it's a sweater. And I haven't made that many sweaters. I did start one a while ago out of alpaca, and it's sitting in its project bag, and I haven't touched it in months. But I'm really interested in trying to make a sweater, and I keep thinking about it. And when I think of the amount of yarn that you need to make a sweater, I guess I get kind of it gets put on the back burner, making that investment. While we were on vacation, of course, I always look for a new yarn store. I'm always on the lookout for a new local yarn shop. And I actually Googled yarn knitting, and this little yarn shop came up. And the name of the shop is called Handmade Craft Shop and Studio, and it is in Swainton, New Jersey, which is outside of Avalon, New Jersey, which is around Atlantic City, around that area. But the shop is the shop is behind the woman's house, and she's got this little, it looks like a little shed, or that's probably what it was at one time. And she's got a cute little store there. She sells fabric and yarn and I really enjoyed browsing around her store. So I was telling her that I thought I might like to make a sweater. And I wish I knew her name, but I don't have her name. She was very, very nice and very, very helpful. So well, the first thing, I saw this, and this is Madeline Tosh, and it's her Twist Light yarn. And the name of this is, I don't know, I can't tell the colorway. But anyway, I really like the colors in the yarn, the aqua and the different shades of brown, and I thought it's a speckled yarn. I thought this would make a nice sweater, so I decided to go for it. I wish I could read this color, but I'll put it across the screen because I find out what the colorway is. So I decided I'm going to do the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits, and since I am a novice sweater maker, and I like her patterns because they're easy to understand, and for a first sweater I think this one's going to be good. I started it last night, and even though it is an easy pattern, I was having a devil of a time with it. I'm not sure why. Well, it is a top-down raglan sleeve pullover, and this is only as far as I've gotten so far. But I was having difficulty making the count come out right for the spacing of the raglan sleeves. But this is what the yarn looks like knit up. Let's see it on the other side. The nice thing about Tin Can Knits patterns, and even though they're simple, she usually has some little detail that makes it look a little different. And the detail here is in the sleeves. So the sleeves, I don't know if you can see it, but it has a garter stitch row down the sleeve, which I really like. But that's what was driving me crazy, trying to remember to do the garter stitch, because you're doing it in the round, and you have to purl every other round. So to remember to do that, that's where I was having the problem, and I had to keep tearing it out. And then my count, I wasn't getting the right count, and that drives me crazy. So I had to keep ripping it back until I got, hopefully it'll be straightened out now. But I don't know about you, when I'm doing a pattern and it calls for that you have to have certain number of stitches within each segment, and you have to have the total at the end of each row to be correct. I always do a spreadsheet because that's the only way I could keep track. So I made myself a little spreadsheet to keep track of the rows and to remember each section, how many stitches there should be in each section. Otherwise, I don't know that I would be able to keep track of the rows and how many stitches there are. So I always take the time to make a spreadsheet. I don't take the time to make a swatch, but I do take the time to make a spreadsheet. And I think with the sweater, I think I may regret not making a swatch with this, but we'll see how it comes out. It's going to be, I hate to say this, it's going to be practice for me making a sweater, considering that I had to buy 4 skeins of this yarn. I just hope it comes out. It feels like the yarn is really lovely, and I like it. But I'm really excited about the sweater, and because it's fingering weight or sock weight, I feel like I can work on it in the summertime. That doesn't look very big, does it? I don't think that's going to fit over my head. But we'll see. I should have made a cardigan, but I'm going to stick with this one. So that's my exciting, and I'm most interested in this project, my flax light sweater. One of the things that we also did on Friday, the last day, well, we left the shore rentals at the Jersey Shore or in Ocean City anyway. They go from Saturday to Saturday. So we arrived last Saturday and left the following Saturday. But on Friday, Ross and I had had enough of the beach, and we were there every single day. And since we live practically near the beach and we can go anytime, we decided to take off on Friday, and we went to the town of Cape May, New Jersey, which is a quaint little town with a lot of Victorian houses and bed and breakfasts, that kind of thing. And there's a section of town that has all the bed and breakfasts, and they have a little mall, shopping mall with all little tiny, shops that you can walk in and browse. One of the stores is it's a kitchen store, and it's called Love the Cook, and it has it has gourmet teas and coffees and all kitchen gadgets and aprons and all kinds of neat little things. And I am a tea drinker, and I did buy tea. As I said, I am a tea drinker, but I only drink decaf. I don't do caffeine. So usually not a lot of choices with decaf tea. But I did find this by the Republic of Tea, and it is cardamom and cinnamon. It has cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and other herbs and spices. And I tasted it, and it has that really tangy cinnamon flavor, and it's very good. The other thing that I thought was adorable were they had these little pads, and they're called spice mug mats. And it says, place warm tea or coffee mug on mat to release aromatic spice scent. Protects tabletop as well. And it's filled with spices, and you can renew the scent with a few good rolls with your rolling pin. But I was attracted to them because of the pretty designs. There's that one. And this one. Isn't that pretty? It's cute. And this is the one that I used. It's Sandpiper. And it works. It has a really nice smell. So it was nice to for a change from the beach to walk around in Cape May. So that's it, I think, for my knitting and for my vacation time. And I wanted to tell you, go back to the celebration of my 100 subscribers and my birthday. So I am going to do a giveaway, and what I'm going to be giving away is a skein of Toad Hollow yarns, and believe me, you will love this yarn, and I am going to part with it. This is in their Drusilla base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. Don't know the colorway, but you can see the different colors. It's really, really pretty. So that's going to be part of the giveaway. And I am going to include one of the tea mats in there as part of the giveaway. So what should I do to have you qualify? I think comment. If you're a subscriber, since this is celebration of subscribers, if you comment on this video and tell me how come you like to watch Joey's scarf, just tell me that, and I'll pick from the names from the comments and send. Let's see, when will I pick the winner? I will pick the winner in 2 weeks. So that would be, let's see, today's the 3rd. I'm recording this on July 3rd. So that will be on the 17th where I will pick a winner and let you know the next time I podcast who the winner is. Okay, so I think we've covered everything, knitting and vacation and giveaways. But that brings me to the part of the podcast that for me is the most special, or I won't say the most special, but it is very special to me. And that's the part of the podcast where I spend a little time talking about my son Joe. And that's who the podcast is named after. And I'm sure by now my regular viewers know the story that I lost my son Joe 5 years ago to colon cancer, and he was a young man. He was in his early 30s. But I take this little time out to reflect on Joe and to think about him, and it's just time that I set aside to remember my son. I also am a writer, and I have written about Joe and about my grief and about a lot of different things, fiction, and I have a blog called Linda Grace An Hour Away. And usually at this point I like to pick out something that I've written and share it with you. And today I'm going to read something from my blog, and it's called He Was Only Passing By. I wonder what today would be like if someone had whispered a secret in my ear on April 4th, 1975. Here is your little boy. Hold on to him tightly. He is precious and yours to keep for 34 years. Perhaps today I would be able to feel the weight of his nearly 8 pounds when he was placed in my arms for the first time. I might vividly sense a tickle as I recall the movement of his head from side to side on my bare chest. I'm sure his newborn smell would continue to linger and cling to me. I would still taste the richness of the chocolate frosting on my fingers as I wiped it off his 1-year-old face. Instead of a frozen moment captured in a photographic glimpse, the memories of his milestones, his firsts, would be an instant recall brought about by at my will. Today in my mind, the in-betweens would not be measured in years, but in moments, each one. If someone had whispered a secret in my ear on April 4th, 1975, I would have looked up when he called, "Mommy, look at me." Not the 4th or 5th time he called, but the very first time. I would have always known who he was, what he liked, how he felt, not just in the last years of his years, not just in the last ones of his years, but in each and every moment of all of those 34 years. Today, this December 5th, 2013, I long for my son. I want to hear his voice. I want to touch his hand. I want to especially see his shy little smile. I want to talk to him. I want to listen to him. I wish, I regret, I realize that if I had known the secret, I would have treasured each moment of every one of his 13,393 days. One of my favorite books, because it is told from the point of view of a mother who has lost her son, is called The Testament of Mary by Colm Tobin. This quote describes how I feel most every day, but especially this day. But no one realized that it would be the realm of death he was destined for, that all the grace and beauty of his aura of specialness, like a gift from the gods to his parents and his sisters, that all of it was a grim joke, like being teased by the smell of delicious food or the possibility of plenty, when it was only something passing by destined for elsewhere. The Testament of Mary is written, it's a fictional piece written by Colm Tobin from the point of view of Mary and how she might have felt losing her son, Jesus. And there's some quotes in there that are just so poignant and just hit home, describing how she must have felt. And it's a small book. I'm not a very religious person, but this book really hit home for me. And the point of my little piece here is, if we knew, right? If we knew, if I had known that I would only have had my son for 34 years, because who thinks about that? I would have paid more attention probably to the little things, and as I said, when he would call mommy, mommy, look at me, I would have instantly looked up. And it's just a reminder of how precious our time is, because we don't know how long we have. And especially after celebrating a very big birthday for me, I realize how important and precious time is. So that's it for me for today, and I'm so glad you stopped by to see me. I will probably see you in a couple of weeks, another 2 weeks or so. And I want to thank you again for stopping by. Thank you to any new subscribers. I really appreciate everyone who gives me the time to sit and listen to me. And I will see you again next time. Bye now.